Alrighty, welcome back everybody to the countdown to Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm joined by two people this time. I'm joined by
Taylor Johnson
and
Jonah Morgan.
And today we are going to be finishing off the Tom Holland movies that are currently out right now with Spider-Man Far From Home. And this is going to be the entire review, deal with it. But starting off with what we didn't like. Because I'm going to be straight up, this movie's not as good as Homecoming.
I agree
with that, yeah.
So, what all do we not like? One thing that I really did not like about this film, and it's mostly just because, sort of that he just wasn't the best character, but also he annoyed me. Brad.
Yeah, what the heck is up with Brad?
What's Brad?
He's just a jerk the entire time.
I mean, he's like, if it was a kid's movie, like, whatever. But it's Spider-Man, like...
Yeah, his name makes sense, though. He seems like a Brad.
He does seem like a Brad.
But yeah, I agree. He's not the best character. He's not the most fleshed out character.
He's not, and he's just a jerk for most of it, because he keeps trying to... Because he wants MJ.
He serves his purpose for that, at least, but like...
I mean, for... Just in terms of trying to get MJ, sure, but... I don't know, there really wasn't a single scene in this movie where I liked him. But, I mean...
I don't think he's supposed to be a likable character.
Right.
But the whole point of him being in the movie, I don't think he's necessary.
He's so one-dimensional that I don't think he's necessary. Yeah, I agree with that.
Going forward. Is there anything else you guys didn't like? Because I'm trying to remember.
Yeah. I'll be honest, and you're not going to like me for this. I'm starting to see the whole Iron Man Jr. thing.
I can understand it.
I just got out of watching it.
Right.
And it's like, number one, you're going to hate me. I don't like the Iron Spider suit so much. I think the Iron Spider suit should only be used in space. I think it should only be used in space or Avenger level threats.
I will say, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree
with
that. He's just like
100%.
walking around like in the freaking... Iron Spider suit to go into some meeting. Like, no, if you're... I don't know. That just kind of...
like, you're going to wear your normal suit. Like,
be proud of who you are. You're Spider-Man. You're not Iron Man.
Yeah. See, that I'll agree with. Because the whole feast thing where you said that presentation, I'm like...
Yeah,
I love the suit, but the thing is, I really don't feel like that suit could have used. Because when there was a deleted scene of him fighting a bunch of crooks, like a warehouse full of crooks, I like that scene, and I feel like it's fine for that scenario, because... It's a powerful suit, but for something like this, I'm just like...
Yeah, because in that scene...
it's overkill.
Especially when he wears his normal suit, like his red and blue suit later on in the movie for like...
20 seconds, it seems like.
It felt like that. At most, it was like maybe 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Something I didn't like, y'all might have talked about this in previous videos because I wasn't here for him, was this iteration, like, of the Tom Holland movies, this iteration of Flash, I don't like.
That's something we touched on. But you can voice your opinion on this.
Because Flash, in the first both, it's not even just in Toby or Andrew. In both Toby and Andrew's movies, he's like this. Well, basically like a Brad character. He's just there to be mean and like a bully. But like, he's just, I don't know. They tried to update him, and make him a different character for like the social media aspect of being mean, and he just comes off as a wimp to me, kind of. Which I don't think Flash is supposed to be, because like, could you imagine this guy as Agent Venom?
No,
probably not.
Is there anything else we didn't like, or do we want to move on to something we were about?
I can't decide if I don't like this or not. It's a little bit of, I don't like it. I don't like the loose ends with Mysterio. Don't get me wrong, I love Mysterio, and I love how Jake Gyllenhaal played him.
Yeah, we'll save that for later.
I love that, but I don't like... I think I don't like how there's just so many loose ends. It's obvious that he's the bad guy.
Right,
It is obvious.
Yeah, I got
There's so many things that you get tipped off about. And I understand Nick Fury is a Skrull right now. I understand that. But, like, then the whole public just immediately accepts Mysterio out of nowhere.
Yep.
It's a little suspicious, and it seems almost lazy.
Yeah, like when Thor first showed up, they weren't like, hey, we have a protector. No, they were like, they were freaking out. Yeah.
I feel like in that instance, like, I can understand that point, but also in that instance, I feel like that was the first time, or one of the first times that Earth had seen something like that. The only other case, at least timeline-wise, would have been Captain Marvel. Whereas at this point in the MCU, there's a whole lot more that they expect.
It's more of a normal thing. I understand.
Yeah. But at the same time, that is a good point because as a diehard Spider-Man just comic fan, the fact I went into this movie pretty much expecting what was going to happen. I just went in like, all right, Mysterio, these things are going to be illusions, and Mysterio is going to pretend to be a good guy and whatnot, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So while it might be a cool twist for newer Spider-Man fans, for people like us who know the comics and know Mysterio as a character, it's very predictable.
We knew it was going to happen, and that was part of it, I guess. So
yeah.
I didn't mind that, but
This is one thing I was on. It's not that I think it's bad or good. I just think it's sort of in the middle. But it's got a hilarious name. The stealth suit, or Night Monkey.
Oh, I love that suit. I like it.
yeah, the Noir suit.
I'm for it.
See, it's not something I don't like. It's just something I think is all right. Like, I think of all Tom Holland suits, it might be one of my least favorites, but only by comparison.
Yeah, that's true. I'm glad they had some variety in the movie, though. They added that suit in.
Yeah,
there,
I like that. I like how it
yeah.
served a point in terms of it wasn't supposed to be very Spider-Man because
Because why would he be here?
And it's pretty accurate because the Noir suit is like that's the purpose it serves.
Yeah,
so
it's not supposed to stand out or anything. It's just supposed to be
it served its
there to
purpose.
serve
It served its purpose, but it's just something I'm in between on because I'm kind of like, eh.
Yeah, in comparison, I get you.
I understand. Yeah, for sure.
Can I be honest?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Brutally.
I don't like the red and black combo. I need that blue. I need the blue in there, man. I need it.
You're gonna get it.
I know, but like,
it was a change.
Yeah, that's
I liked it for the time, but I think it's gonna get overused.
I agree with that the first time you see it, you're like, oh, that looks sick. But then you're like,
yeah, exactly.
Hopefully they don't overuse it.
Yeah, it was really cool, and I had no problem with it being in the movie. I liked that.
Hopefully they don't make it a whole thing going forward. Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm gonna say Black Ops are more really good for me, but that is something I hope they just don't do in general. Is just I hope they don't do this trend of reusing costumes. Because no matter how much I love the Iron Spider, I can understand how people are getting sick of it. Even with it being in No Way Home. So one other thing I'm a little bit iffy on was mainly just one particular scene that happened. When he gets hit by the friggin' train.
I knew you were going to say that. Keep going.
You seem to be predicting that a lot.
Yes.
But he gets hit by a train and then he just he passes out, but I'm like, you look like somebody just snapped your arm.
Well, he also had been in a fight previous to that.
Yeah, but that's just for to prove that why does he not look like he's in more pain?
Because he's
especially when he gets hit by a train at that speed. It feels like it should do a lot more than just.
Dude, I thought they straight up killed Spider-Man whenever I watched the movie first. Like
that
train was going really fast.
Yeah, I saw that, I was like.
But then again, you're like when the audience sees that he's for the most part okay, they accept it because he's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which I think is. Yeah.
It's just something that irked me because I'm just like.
But it's
going. It's going super fast. At least maybe around 100 miles an hour. And it hits Spider-Man.
Give me some broken bones. Is that what Christian's asking for?
I just want more indication of it hurting. Cause I don't care who you are unless you're freaking Superman.
I want to see the vulnerability. All right, it's kind of like how when Andrew got shot in the leg, we could see it. All right, we could see that it was hurting him.
Yeah, that was. That's just one thing that was a nitpick for me. Cause.
Right.
I'll say this: the beginning part, I really don't like how the whole Iron Man Jr. thing starts for this film. But I like how they wrap it up towards the end. Because I feel like this could transition us into the good section.
Yeah.
Is the fact that when Peter is on that jet, Happy should have says, "You're not Iron Man. Nobody can live up to him."
Not even him.
Yeah, not even he could. Pretty much telling Peter, it's you don't I feel like too many people write this scene off because everybody's like, "Oh, it's Iron Man Jr." I'm like, no,
that's a good scene.
Because this was the scene that sort of took him away from that. It was just he was like, all right, I'm not gonna be Iron Man Jr. I'm gonna be
the Amazing Spider-Man. My guy.
Like he's gonna be his own person. I feel like too many people write that scene off just for the excuse to keep calling him Iron Man Jr. And that sort of irritates me a little bit.
Iron Boy.
Iron Boy.
But
Iron Lad.
take us into the good section. If you guys didn't have anything else that you didn't like or about this film.
No, I don't have anything.
Once again, I'll say the acting, pretty much all around, is great. Especially from the main three. I feel like this is really the movie that like makes this like our trio of Peter, Ned, and MJ. I feel like all the actors have great chemistry that you really see, even outside. It's like they have an exuberant amount of fun whenever they're together. And getting to, I feel like one of the bigger parts of this, Mysterio. He is predictable, but he is still.
I love it.
If you take that out of just consideration, he is a great villain.
Yeah,
and Jake Gyllenhaal nails him.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite. Mysterio in the like comics wise and just in general is one of my favorite super villains.
He's so cool.
Yeah, he's awesome. And for the brief time that he's like a nice guy, quote unquote, like when you see him fighting, dude, it looks sick.
Oh
like,
yeah,
like you know it. Like
it's impressive. It's so impressive. The whole thing is impressive.
Like you know it's fake, but yeah, I agree. Jake Gyllenhaal, like even with the mask off, plays him very well, and yeah. That's also a great point that you just brought up. In my opinion, the special effects for this film, it's good.
Holy crap, they're great.
Because because like one of the ways that Mysterio like has powers, quote unquote, is like with those drones he kind of uses like 3D special effects, like so,
yeah.
It's a good way to bring it to life in today's day and age.
And I feel like the scene that really shows how great these special effects are, typically the first fight between Spider-Man and Mysterio, where he's using the illusions, and that's the only other time we see the red and blue suit. That scene was fantastic. The fact it goes from like just in this, like on top of this, I think it was on top of the Eiffel Tower, which was sort of like a callback to when Peter was telling Mysterio how it's like, I want to take MJ to the top of the Eiffel Tower and give her this gift, and creates this illusion of Mysterio dropping MJ from the top of the Eiffel Tower. And you get so many of these other illusions of like zombie Iron Man. Holy crap! I was like,
and then
wow.
What if was like, hey, what if we do that?
Oh yeah. Well, to be fair, they both took those from the comics.
Yeah.
But you had that. You had like all the broken like Avenger statues. Just so much of that scene was just shot beautifully.
The web works. Can I say it? His webbing in this movie is the best webbing of all the movies.
Oh yeah.
Overall, I mean, the stuff he does with the webs and how the webs look, there's not a movie that does it better.
Agree.
I think, and this is a hot take. I think that he is more agile in this movie than any other movie.
You know,
and I think,
and I have a thought about that.
And I think he was even more agile in this movie than he was in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Shoot me.
The thing is, I can see that. Because especially in that final fight alone on the bridge with all the drones.
Yes.
He's constantly moving.
Especially that scene where, like, it's one of the first times we see him use his Spidey sense in, like, a fight.
Going back to what we didn't like. Thank you for bringing that up. The freaking Peter tingle? Are you serious?
Dude, I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's funny.
I think I know where you're going with this. I don't like how it takes him so long to nail it. Like,
but when he does, but going back to what we did, like, when he does, it's freaking cool.
Yeah, that's rad.
Yeah.
That's really rad.
Yeah, with that agility, he, like, weaves in and out of all of the robots. And then,
and it's, like, on full display, and we never really got to see it on full display and so concentrated in any other movie.
And then it caps off with him realizing that Mysterio's not really dead,
and then he's pointing
a gun at his head.
Oh my gosh,
that's a tough scene. That's tough, boy.
That's tough. And then he just stares at him like, okay, really?
Yeah, that was a great scene.
That was probably my favorite part of the movie.
Honestly, yeah, I'm gonna agree.
But
yeah, real speaking that, because I can't believe I forgot about that. I hate how it just tried being way more comedic than it should. I get it. Peter Tingle's funny. But what would have made it would have been fine if it started out like that in the beginning. But it threw me off in that final fight when he's using
on the airplane or no? Yeah, when he's on the airplane.
That one is on the airplane, but when he's fighting Mysterio, like he uses the drones and like it's all black.
Oh,
he says,
yeah.
"Come on, Peter Tingle." I'm like,
yeah, no,
I forgot that he said that.
Yeah, that's why I hate it.
Yeah, that's over.
What would have made it
He
so?
should have just said, "Come on," and then that's it.
No, what he should have done is because I saw
anything.
No, here's what I think they should have done. On the scene, on the airplane, when Happy's like, you get your Peter Tingle back online or whatever, and Peter's like, that's not what I'm gonna call it, and Happy should say something like, okay, well, you gotta find some sort of name for it, and then when you go to the scene where he's in that dark hallway, have Peter sitting there, like listing off different names, and then the last one he says is, "Come on, Spider Sense," and then Rush.
Yes, that should have happened, but
that would have made the scene 10 times better.
Oh, I agree, but I think he could have come up with the Spider Sense name whenever he was describing it to Happy. He was like, it's like a sixth sense, because he literally said the word sense, so he's just like, okay, and during that scene he could have said Spider Sense, and then he just and then they just put the Peter Tingle to death. Pause. That's weird.
I feel like
that's weird to say.
That's something that really irks me about this. Because at first it was funny, but at the end of the movie, it really threw me off. That's something I hated.
But the thing is, hindsight is 20/20. I thought it was funny, but I'd forgot that he said it in that fight. But,
getting back to something that we discussed, but I like the red and black suit. I mean, it might just be my bias because one of my favorite color schemes is red and black. So, I mean, I like it, but I can understand it. I can understand the red and blue one is so much better, but I like the red and black one.
Yeah, no, I mean, it looks cool for sure. Don't get me wrong. I'm just
as long as it's not overused.
I'm a big fan of originality. I like this red and black suit. I don't want it to be overused. That's all.
Yeah, because my one thing with it was, although it's more primarily red than black, it's the same color scheme as Miles Morales' suit.
Yeah, it just flipped.
Which is just flipped. So it's
They could segue that.
It could segue.
I wish they would.
I will say the number one thing I liked about this movie, there was that whole scene with him catching Mysterio with the gun before he fires it. But the number one thing I liked about this movie was Jon Favreau was happy.
It was nice to see him.
He's great. As you see Iron Man kind of become Spider-Man's father figure, I guess. But then Happy really becomes that.
Yeah, he really becomes in this film.
And I like it. I love Jon Favreau.
I like it too. And
just talking about in terms of designs, Mysterio's design in this movie.
It's good.
Perfect. It's exactly what it needed to be.
I will say it kind of does look like Iron Man, like the armor kind of part of it, but that's probably intentional because he worked for him there for a little bit.
Yeah.
But it looks awesome.
I also like how they tied everything in, like Mysterio's crew. That was pretty cool finding out.
Although the reason Mysterio doesn't like Tony, what was his project called? What was the acronym?
Barf.
Yeah, that's a little bit dumb to me because I don't feel like you would do that. Oh, I don't know. It's funny, but I don't feel like you as an executive would make that decision to have be called Barf because you know what you had coming.
Yeah.
I do like how it sparked the fire for Mysterio to be born though.
Jumping back to something that I was sort of on, I feel like I'm a little bit more on this because I mean it was fine both of these times. This movie, I'm really starting to get tired of the trend of Spider-Man villains having some sort of vendetta against Iron Man. This is the second movie in a row.
Oh, the thing is, with No Way Home, they all have a vendetta against a different version.
That's why
that's
why I'm happy that they were breaking away from that. But just in this time, I'm like, I don't like how it's two movies in a row.
Right.
But that's why I'm on it because both of these villains were fantastic. Right. So I'm able to give it a pass.
So they better not drop the ball with this next trilogy. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Do it.
Don't drop the ball.
That's all I'm asking.
They won't.
Yes. We gotta talk about MJ a little bit.
Yeah, I like her a lot more here than I do in Homecoming, personally.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I do too.
Because because you play more of a role, and because she straight up showed that she's not taking any of your crap.
And she's a very different take from obviously Kirsten Dunst in the original.
Yeah, thank the Lord.
But I love. I think she's hilarious. She's her
Wait,
every.
This MJ?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, this her comedy lands every single time, no matter how dark it is, and I love it.
Yeah.
I also just love Zendaya. So
Lights. So, yeah. What were we talking about? Oh, but yeah, I really like the dynamic that Peter and MJ have throughout this entire movie.
I like the awkward kiss at the end.
Yeah, that was how it's like. I love how Peter is walking up from defeating Mysterio, and is like so surprised to see MJ. It's like that voice where it's like you're surprised but happy.
Yeah, no, it was a good scene. I like it. Yeah, for sure.
I also love the reference to Endgame, where he's out of webs and he makes like he has like a sign as a shield and it's holding another gadget, and it's a straight up reference to Cap wielding Mjolnir. Yeah, no, there was a straight up reference. I saw that and I was like, ah.
I was wondering, it was a little out of character, but now that you made that,
it was kind of yeah.
So jumping into the post credit scenes, the second one, this is one of the few movies where both post credit scenes feel like they're setting up something big.
Good lord!
Because the second one is setting up this whole thing with the fact that because Fury and Hill had been in this movie and they were apparently Skrulls that were in Captain Marvel.
That was another thing I was on. I just don't like the fact that it wasn't Fury, but anyways, it's still Samuel L. Jackson. So
I'm holding off on talking about Skrulls for when for a potential Captain Marvel review later down.
Yeah, okay, I agree with that.
So I'm holding off on that, but then you see like Fury's on a ship with apparently where the rest of these Skrulls, so they're building something.
Yeah, which like it makes sense. Like going back and if you watch the movie again, he does kind of act out of character, which I think they do a good job of telling. Because like sometimes even though he's Nick Fury, he's overly mean. Sometimes.
Yeah.
You can kind of tell if like you go into it thinking, hey, this isn't Nick Fury, then you can kind of see it.
Yeah, but getting into the big one with the first post-credit scene, where J.K. Simmons has returned as J. Jonah Jameson, and Mysterio has released video revealing Spider-Man's identity to the world.
Spider-Man!
And ending with the classic, what the fuck? And then fade to black.
So you thought Christian was going to curse in his video.
Nope.
No
way. Yeah, and that post-credit scene ties us into No Way Home. But now, getting to the ratings.
Let me think. Hold on. Okay, I got one out. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it either a 7 or 7.5 because I wasn't here for Homecoming. I would give Homecoming like an 8. That's what I would give Homecoming.
He's tough. He's judging these tough, ain't he?
I gave Into the Spider-Verse a 9 for reference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would give Homecoming a 7, maybe 7.5 because I do agree it's.
You mean Far From Home?
Far From Home. That's exactly what I meant. Yeah, sure. Homecoming is better, but Far From Home, I think, has moments of being like amazing and moments of this could be better. But overall as a movie, I think it's above average for sure.
Yeah,
I think it's well above average.
Again, I would say me personally, I would probably give it. I'm gonna say around an 8 or an 8.5. I might have to lean more towards an 8, honestly, because
that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say 8.2.
Because I mean, I enjoyed this movie a lot.
That's how I do it.
Oh, okay.
I enjoyed this movie a lot, but the thing is, there were a few more issues with it than I had compared to previous films. Because one other thing I wasn't really that was iffy on is that I didn't feel like Peter was the most responsible in this film. Which, I mean, I understood. Personally, I understood watching the film, but it was just something that sort of brings it down.
He's having a rough go at it.
Yeah. But, I mean, I still enjoyed it, so I'd probably stick to about an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
But it's still a good film.
Yeah.
So, for me, the first time I watched it, I probably would have gave it a 9 just because, recency bias, and we're all a victim of that.
True,
I don't care what,
true.
And everybody who makes a review is victim of recency bias. So
look at my Venom review.
Even when No Way Home comes out, people will, obviously.
They'll say it's an 11 out of 10, but, whatever. Anyway, point is, I thought it was a 9 out of 10. I thought it was a really solid movie, and I got really excited, and so walking out the theater, I would have said probably 9 to 9.5.
Right.
Now, today, I'm going to say 8.2 because, obviously because of the things we said, but I'm going to give it a little higher than y'all because of...
J. Jonah.
No, I'd say I did notice the progression in his skills, and and that's one of the main things that I love seeing in Spider-Man movies. I just love to see how Spider-Man did progress. And so those things for me just kind of give it a really higher rating. And I think those good things outweigh the bad. And that's why I'm going to give it an 8.2.
Yep. So, definitely a good movie. Not as good as the past couple that we've reviewed, I'll say. But it's still pretty good. Now, next time.
On Disney Channel. No, I'm just kidding.
Dragon Ball Z.
We are finally here. Because I do not know when this video is going to come out.
It's the end of the road, boys.
We are going to be reaching the end of our countdown. Because next time we are going to be doing Spider-Man No Way Home. It has taken... I don't even know how long. It's taken several weeks, but we're finally here. Yeah. So, I have no idea when this video is going to come out, because the three of us are going to try to be here, plus one more person. It really depends on if it works for them, but I don't know. We're really going to have to try and see. I will say maybe expect the video around Sunday or Monday. Maybe. We'll figure out when to record later, because this is a movie I feel like everybody needs enough time to watch it, because our review is going to be spoiler. It's going to be a spoiler review.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Because there's going to be so much happening in this movie that it's just going to be hard to do spoilers.
Yeah, and we don't get paid to not release spoilers. You know what I'm saying? We're not making money, all right? This is this is for fun, man.
You're on YouTube. You didn't come to YouTube to not get spoiled.
Yeah. So stay tuned for next week, where we wrap up our countdown with No Way Home. And hopefully with 4 people here. I won't spoil who this fourth person is, because one, still
it's
not 100%.
Your mother. No, I'm just kidding.
Because still not 100% sure yet, but we'll just have to see. So thank y'all for watching, and see y'all later, webheads.